One simple trick to achieve success. We tend to overcomplicate things in our minds. We tend to think that the harder an answer, the better it is. The more complicated a solution, the better it is. Because why not? You are using all of your brain power to bring forth a complicated solution, a hard solution. We tend to think that things need to be hard because that's how we were taught in school. That's how our parents taught us that we should work hard for things. And although I'm all for the grind, I'm all for the hustle, I'm all for learning, for practicing, for doing things, there's a simpler way. There's something much simpler that we could be leveraging, but we don't. Or at least I see many people who don't. And lo and behold, they are the same people that are always struggling, the same people that are always thinking of ways in which their life could be better, but at the same time, it seems that they don't do anything to make it better. So today, we're going to talk about one thing that you've heard thousands of times, one thing that you might think you do, but I'm sure that many of you don't. And that is having goals. And now you might be thinking, Gabe, what the hell, man? I have goals. I want to be Mr. Olympia. I want to be Miss Universe. I want to be a billionaire. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's not a real goal. That's an aspiration at best. That's a dream at best. And although I'm all for having lofty dreams, about having lofty aspirations, this is not the moment in which we'll discuss this exactly. You need to think of life as a video game because at the end of the day, life is the ultimate video game that you could ever play. When you play a Mario game or a Pokemon game or whatever the game that kids these days play, you are getting those little dopamine hit. So every time you defeat an enemy, you get some experience points, or you get a new shield, you get new items, you get whatever little colors popping, you get little points coming out your way, and your dopamine sensors or your dopamine pathways in your brain go berserk because they're like, oh my God, I'm achieving so much. I'm achieving so much. I'm awesome. I'm awesome. But actually, these things were made in our brain to help us because dopamine is the motivational molecule in our brain. It's the motivation neurotransmitter. We tend to associate with pleasure, but actually, it was supposed to be more of a motivational tool to make us go out and hunt, to make us go out and fight for our tribe. Because if we didn't, our tribe would be killed by our neighbors. It was made so that we would crave sex, for instance, because if we didn't, we wouldn't reproduce. And species that doesn't reproduce, of course, doesn't have offspring and dies off. So video games know this. Video games make all of our dopamine sensors go berserk, but they were made by people who know a lot about human psychology, about human neurology, about human physiology. And where I want to get to is that life's a video game, like I said before. In a video game like GTA or in other open world games in which you can pretty much do whatever you want, there is also a main story. So you have the main story and you have the side quests, the side stories that you can get into, the side missions that deviate you from the main story. And in the case of the video game, by deviating into these side quests, of course, you might get to know a bit of some other characters better, or you might get some item that you wouldn't otherwise. But if you don't complete the main tasks, the main goals of the game, that would be the main story, you will never finish the game. And I know that some of you might be thinking, well, in life, the goal is not to finish the game. life is an infinity game. At least while you're playing it, while you're in the game, life is an infinity game. And like I've talked before as well in other podcasts and other things I've written, the infinity game concept is a concept that, unlike a game of basketball or soccer, for instance, in which you have a defined time frame, or in some cases like volleyball or tennis, in which the time is not defined, but you know that you need to score however many points to win. You know the rules of the game and you know how to win, and the goal is to win the game. And then you'll have to play another game and another game. But in infinite games, like business, like politics, like life, your goal is to live another day, is to play another day. So your goal is to keep playing, basically. So in life, unlike in a video game, you can't finish the game story. Of course, you have the main quests, and as you unfold through the chapters, you go through different stages, and it's basically an infinite game also in the sense that you can't get to a stage in which you say, okay, enough is enough, this is the last stage, I'm done, I'm over. This is not something that's in the human realm. That's why we are always, in a sense, at least when we're trying to look for things that are material or look for things outside of us, in this sense, we will never fully fulfill ourselves. That's the point of human existence, that you will never get fully fulfilled. You'll never get fully satisfied in this earthly realm that we live. You'll never be fully satisfied. And that's okay. That's normal. That's not the point. As you progress through life, you need to live those chapters, you need to live those phases to the best of your ability. But what you can't do is to get stuck in a phase. So, for instance, when you're 18, 20, 21, 22, it's okay. It's perfectly normal that you're more attracted and that you want to go to more parties. You want to get those kinds of experiences. But if you're doing this at 35, at 40, then it starts getting a bit ridiculous. It's like looking at that old man who wants to party like he's 20 years old and he should be doing something else with his life by now. So you don't want to be reliving stages that should have been put on the past. And in the same way that you don't want to jump too many stages because it's also part of the human existence in this world to live all of the stages. Now, going back to everything that I've talked about, why I'm going to give you one simple trick to achieve success in whatever you want to do. Is it your personal life, your professional life, really whatever you want to do? The thing is, the biggest problem we see in the world today is that people don't do things on purpose. We've lost the sense of what purpose is. So we go out through our days haphazardly, getting distracted by notifications, by emails, by calls, by social media, by TV. But we never think, what is my purpose? Why am I here in this world? What am I here to do? We tend to get distracted because we simply don't have the resolve in our mind that's strong enough to keep us in our path. And what's the easiest way to do this? It's simply by thinking every day or every week, every month, every year, every second if you can really, what you want to do with your life. So if you were playing a video game, of course you might be doing some side quests, some side hustles, but you can't take your eyes off of the prize of the main missions. So for instance, to make it clear, every day before you start your day, before you start going through the motions and doing whatever is in your calendar, you must think, what's the one thing that I should be doing? The one thing that if I did today would make everything else easier, or that would bring me closer to my goals, bring me closer to the path that I want to go to. And do that one thing, focus on that one thing. So if you finished the day and you did just one thing, let that be the thing. Of course, there are days in which life happens. There are days in which you won't be able to do whatever you wanted to. But just by having this purpose, because there are days, but they are not most of the days. So just by having this in mind, just by using this exercise of thinking through what are my priorities, what are the things that I should be doing, what are the things that I know deeply, and those are things that are personal to you, things that you've had some soul searching done, that you've written about, that you've thought about, that you feel deeply in you, that resonate deeply with you, not with anyone else, not with your teacher, not with your boss, not with your husband or wife or your children. It's something that has to be good for you, and only you can tell what it is. And only after doing this soul searching, and only after really knowing yourself, will you be able to do this. But that in and of itself is a good goal to have as well. So you have this one main goal, and you might have that. So you have this one main goal that we'll call the main quest for the day. And then you might have two or three side quests that are things that you want to do, you know are important, but are not as important as the main one. And you've chosen that main one for a reason. And if you get to finish the main one, and then you get to finish two or three other side quests that are important as well. For instance, if you have a very important meeting for your job or for your business, and you manage to nail that meeting, you manage to nail that sales presentation, or that presentation that you want to, or that client meeting, then great. You've done it. Like, you've won the day already. So now let's go to the side ones. Let's go to the side missions. And then maybe one of your side missions is to go to the gym. So, wow, great. Another side mission that I completed. But the main goal, the highlight, was already done before. Or maybe the gym could be your main goal because you're having a hard time going to the gym, or you're having a hard time of keeping your weight or keeping the shape you want to have. Okay, then great. Whatever is the most important thing for you at the moment should be your main goal. So basically, I've been talking to you guys for over 10 minutes now, but the important thing is to have purpose, to have clarity of what you want, what you need, where you're going. And by having this, everything else gets so much easier. Because when someone calls you, for instance, if you want to run a marathon, or if you want to run a triathlon, if you are an athlete and someone calls you and says, "Hey, do you want to go out for a few drinks?" It will be so much easier to say, no, I don't want to go out for a few drinks. I don't want to get pissed drunk and go to sleep at 4 a.m. and have to wake up at 7 and then be hungover for 2 days later. No, it's easy for you because you have a mission that's stronger, that's higher, that permeates everything in your life. And this can happen to anything. This can happen to someone. For instance, your notifications in your cell phone, you know that they're distracting you. You know that they're keeping you from doing a better job with whatever you work with. So what do? You take the notifications off, or you put your phone in airplane mode. Whatever you have to do so that you are not strung away from your path. So thank you for listening today. And if you get one takeaway, just be more purposeful in where you're going. Think about, when was the last time that you planned something and that you actually followed through. And really, I'm not kidding you. It's that easy. Just by thinking about the things you want to do, and which of them are the most important to you, doing it daily, either before you go to sleep, which personally I would even recommend further, because when you're asleep, you'll be dreaming about it. Your subconscious mind will be thinking about it. So you might wake up with some answers to problems that you went to sleep thinking about. But not only that, when you do it, be it in the morning, be it at night, you're rethinking about what's important for you. You're rethinking about what's your purpose, what are your main goals, and you're aligning to this. And by doing this, you're making the best thing that you could do for to yourself, because the most important person in your life is you. You're the only one who will be there in any situation. You will be there with you if you're sick. You'll be there with you when everything's good, when everything's bad, when everything's so. And even the most important people in your life, like your parents, your partner, your kids, your best friend, they won't be there with you all the time. They might be with you in the most important moments, but they won't be there with you even when the going gets tough, or when you have to take a shower or to go to the bathroom. So just focus on your purpose, focus on the main goal for the day, and by doing this every day, little by little, you'll be on a good path to improve. Of course, there are some days in which you will be taken away from your path because life happens. But as long as most of the time you're focused, you're going towards where you need to go, you'll be golden. Okay? So thank you for watching. Keep posted, because the second season of the Rock and Road to Success will have so many great episodes. I'm recording with some great people, and yeah, every week you'll be able to watch so many great things. So, like I like to say, great things are coming, and I love you guys. Let's go, go, go.